So, hi everybody, how are you doing today?
Good, wow.
Good. Is this your guys' first experience at Comic-Con, or have you guys been before?
Yeah.
First ever.
Really?
Well,
In person. In person. Oh, that's right, yeah. 'Cause
At home.
yeah, at home. Which was fun. That was
Yeah, that was a great
cool.
time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And how is it so far? Have you gotten to explore the floor at all?
It's so cool.
Good.
It's so awesome.
That's
I'm definitely nerding out at everything I see. I'm having a blast.
What's your favorite part so far? Have you
Oh
guys-
gosh, I think just being here in San Diego,
Yeah.
like I've never been here,
Oh.
and the weather's awesome. And just being able to walk around at night is so cool here. The bay, the harbor, whatever, that's awesome.
Nice.
I love seeing everyone's costumes.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's so cool.
I love everyone in their element. Everyone everyone has their favorite show on or wearing a costume from that. And like once they get to the booth that represents that show, they're just pumped, and it's just cool to see that.
Everyone is so happy here.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Well, we were even saying like, with COVID and everything, like this is so awesome to finally like see people smiling and happy, and just like in a big setting, it's awesome. I think.
Or at least seeing their eyes squint a little
Yeah.
more when they're smiling. Yeah, you know they're smiling.
That's so cool. And you guys, do you know if you guys are going to be here for July or not, or can you say?
I don't know.
Can we?
I don't know.
So, if you do come out in July, it's a totally different beast. Like, this is kind of small, kind of
Yeah.
packed, but July is just absolutely bonkers.
That's what we
So,
heard.
yeah. All right, so what is the scariest experience that you guys have had that is not related to paranormal stuff?
Oh, okay.
That's a good question.
Oh,
I already know mine.
Chelsea.
Go for it.
It's probably
No,
the
this
same
is
thing.
no, it's not
It's
that.
not.
Oh,
No, it's not. I know what you're gonna say if you brought up Chelsea.
Chelsea was in control for an episode, and she had us do a mystery box where you put your hand into a box and you don't know what's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she knows I'm definitely afraid of snakes. She didn't put one snake in there, she put 5. And I didn't live it down. Let's just say this last episode, last 2 episodes of this season, I get a little payback.
It took him an hour to get sanded. It took him a whole hour.
An hour to touch one snake.
We plotted out like an hour and a half of time to do it. We're like, yeah, we'll go do that. That'll be easy. Then we'll do our packet read once it's dark, and it was dark before anyone else could touch anything.
I have never heard so many I'm sorry's out of this guy before. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Crying, he sweat through his shirt.
Well, I
That was
knew.
fear.
Yelled at you.
I knew though, because like you can't see into the box, but I just knew. I'm like, Chelsea's not gonna not do a snake.
right.
So for an hour, it took me, yeah. I finally touched the head though.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Good.
So part of our show is we do activities like pit stops before overnights, and a lot of the times they can range from being really fun or sometimes really, really terrifying. And just this season, we're actually going caverning, and it's basically like 200 feet down. You first start off by just like basically going down a tiny hole in the ground 100 feet, then you climb down another 100 feet, and I would say that was one of my most unsettling moments like in my life.
Oh, it was terrifying.
It took us over 2 hours to get to where we needed to be. So like once we got to that point, we realized like, man, if anything happens, it's 2 hours to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confined spaces.
Yeah.
Was that here or was that in Ireland?
That was an
That
Indiana.
was-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out that I'm afraid of heights. We went to the Willis Tower, and they have this little viewing spot where you can. It's just glass, so you step onto the ledge, and you just see all the way down to the street, and quite literally, all of us were sweating bullets.
Yeah.
There's a point that one of my favorite points of our show is we all jump out there, we do a selfie, and Dakota goes, "Got it," and we jump off faster than we got on. It was so funny.
Side story to that same spot. We all thought it would be cool to like lay down and take a picture when we're laying down on the grass and like take a selfie. And I wear a cross, and it fell down and like made a little cracking noise on the glass, and everyone freaked out. We're just like, oh my god.
So being afraid of heights, was the flight like terrifying then over to Ireland? Or?
Oh, I think it's just like the fact that I was like, there's nothing under. It felt like there was nothing underneath me, but like flight. Usually with planes, I'm perfectly fine.
Shut the window.
Yeah, exactly. We're still just cruising on the
Yeah,
ground.
we're driving.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how was Ireland? Like, did you guys get to spend time doing things other than,
Actually,
hunting?
the cool thing is, like you were just saying, usually we'll do like an adrenaline-inducing pit stop, but in Ireland we kind of did it differently. We decided like let's actually just enjoy the culture while we're here, and so we did a lot of really cool things. We saw all the cool sites that you probably should see, the Blarney Castle, the Blarney Stone, and we went to some whiskey distilleries and had some whiskey, which is awesome.
Had fish and
Yeah,
chips.
we got to drive through Dublin.
Yeah.
And just see everything. It's so cool.
It was, though, like in terms of haunted and scary, nothing compares in America. I have a feeling if we keep going abroad, it's just going to keep intensifying because just wait until you see, I guess, these last two. They are
excited.
next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, so going off of that then, how much research went into finding where you wanted to go for this season?
A lot. So we got the opportunity to go abroad. We didn't know what country we would want to go to yet. But after some little bit of research, I found this place called Spike Island in Ireland. It's a prison with 4 times the size of Alcatraz, and that to me was it. The second I knew that that was a location we could go to, it was game over. Like, this is it. We have our finale. Spike Island. It doesn't sound even much scarier than that. But that was the big draw for me, at least. Like, I had a couple countries on my mind, but then Spike Island kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah, when you have to take a ferry out to the location and get dropped off by boat, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Like, even if you wanted to leave and walk home, you couldn't.
You could
You're just
swim.
stuck. Yeah, you're
Swim
just
home.
there.
It's like 3 miles where even prisoners couldn't.
Worth it.
Good luck. Was it really cold when you guys were there, or how was the weather?
It was
too
good.
It got rained on though at Spike,
Yeah.
which is just to make it even worse. It was storming,
Add
of
the
course.
scary element to it, yeah.
Right.
But like, I don't know, like so much I could say about Spike Island, but we were talking about this last night, like, you know, every night we separate and sleep alone, and so usually there's like an order to that, like we'll drop off Chelsea, then Alex and Tanner, and then I'll go. But this just shows you how big Spike Island was. We dropped Tanner off first this time, and I went to my sleeping arrangement last. It was an hour and a half of time from dropping Tanner off to me finally getting to my spot. So once I got to my spot, you've already been alone for an hour and a half.
So if something happens to me, I'm like, Dakota, help. He's just like, dude, I don't even have a camera on me right now. Like, this isn't, like, call someone else. I was like, okay.
It's never happened before.
No.
Like, that just shows you how big it was.
How big is the island from?
I can't even like.
California.
It's too big.
Yeah.
It's like the whole island itself is massive, but it's not until the very center top part where the prison is. So like, there's just woods and land and everything surrounding it.
It almost looks like an old war fort.
Yeah.
Going
Well, it actually was.
Yeah, so it was.
So that's why it looks like that.
Yeah, you gotta make it that way.
Cool. So, I don't know if you guys can spoil anything. Was anybody in the forest? Was that super creepy? Have you guys done forests before?
We've done locations surrounded in woods where we've ended up in them looking for things. This one was, I don't want to spoil too much, but I mean, we did have, I'd say, our creepiest audible capture of our entire history doing this. I'm just going to spoil it a little bit. It is a war fort, and the British used to run that fort for hundreds of years. And there was like this small claim that we kind of overlooked, that people sometimes will hear soldiers shooting at them. We didn't even think about that because we have all this prison history to unravel. But all of a sudden we're on the island and we actually are taking a break, and Chelsea and Alex go outside and they start to hear like cannons and artillery going off. They run in, we turn on the cameras, we start rolling, and within about 15 minutes of being outside listening, we finally heard them again.
Wow.
But they were very clear, and Tanner had a thermal camera. We were panning the whole island. They were coming from the island, whatever these loud bangs were, but we couldn't see anyone. In the thermal camera, you can see thousands of yards ahead of you.
Right.
There was nothing.
Oh my gosh. So it's safe to say you guys are probably going to go back to Spike Island. Right?
Spike Island, or at least hopefully we can continue just this international journey, because at the end of this Ireland trip, we all were kind of like, dang, it's going to be hard to go back to America. Like, we just hit this
Exactly.
So was the filming requirements different over there? Like, do they have specific rules as far as filming goes, or is it just kind of like,
They were really lax.
that's awesome?
Ireland was awesome. The people were so cool to us. People didn't even know what we were there for, and like, so they didn't have a reason to be nice, and they were just nice.
Yeah, they literally were like the nicest people of all time. Like, we were driving in our RV and we had to take a quick like 5-minute stop before we get into the Loftus Hall. And within 30 seconds of our RV stopping, we had a woman come out and knock on the door and be like, hey, is everything all right with your RV? You guys okay? And we're like, it's been 30 seconds. I see where your house is. That takes 30 seconds to get to. So like, you were on the ball. It was wild.
We stuck out like a sore thumb
Oh.
because they do not drive RVs, or I
No.
didn't see another RV
No.
the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
And our RV was driving like on the right side, so technically the left side of the vehicle, but no one else was. Everyone else drives on the right side, so
Really?
we just looked very odd.
Yeah.
An American RV in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. We asked if we were lost a couple times. People would come up to us, "Are you guys lost? Did you take a wrong turn?"
We were driving in New York and now I don't know what happened.
You take one nap and all of a sudden you're somewhere else.
Have you guys, any of you ever been overseas before, or was this your first experience?
First time for me.
First time.
I have. I did a backpack tour around Europe and it was insane. I've never been to Ireland though. Like that was a bucket list spot, so super grateful to go out there.
Yeah, and definitely never been to Europe and never been to a haunted place outside of the U.S. So that was a first for all of us
That was
there.
eye-opening.
That's really cool. So obviously Ireland's much scarier because there's a lot more history. Is there somewhere now that you want to revisit because of like your scariest spot in America? Would you want to revisit to kind of feel if it's as scary as
I know we've all talked about it, like at some point it would be really fun to do like a mini road trip where we only go to like 4 places, but those 4 are all places that have affected us like the most.
Yeah, that'd be really
We
cool.
want to try that for sure. There's a couple Sweet Springs Sanatoriums,
Yeah.
there's a couple places in the country that we know are like, gosh, we have to go back and face it again.
The places we felt most defeated. I feel like we have to
Yeah.
go back and conquer.
Get a little redemption.
That's awesome. Cool. I think that's everything that I have for you guys. So I
Nice.
really appreciate all your time.
Oh,
Thank
thank
Thank you
you.
so much. It was really nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
I'm excited to see this whole season.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that.
That's so
It gets
cool.
better and better from
It really does.
That's awesome.